Did you know that before Piaget, children were often seen as smaller versions of adults, with less knowledge but fundamentally similar ways of thinking? Piaget shattered this notion, revealing that children's minds evolve through a series of stages, each with its own unique way of understanding the world. This isn't just academic theory, it's a window into the minds of the young learners around us. Consider this shocking fact. By the time children reach the age of 2, they've developed enough brain capacity to store 1 million gigabytes of information. Yet, it's not the quantity of information that's most astounding, but how they process and make sense of this information at different ages. In our journey through Piaget's theory of cognitive development, we'll explore the fascinating stages that children navigate as they grow. From the sensory explorations of infancy to the complex abstract thinking of adolescence, we'll uncover the secrets of how cognitive abilities unfold. But Piaget's theory is more than just stages, it's about the processes of learning, the concepts of schema, assimilation, accommodation, and the dynamic nature of cognitive growth. So, are you ready to dive into the mind of a child? To explore the invisible landscapes where thought, language, and imagination blossom? Join us on this journey through Piaget's stages of cognitive development, where we'll unlock the secrets of the mind and, in doing so, perhaps rediscover the wonder of learning itself. Chapter 1. Introduction to Piaget and Cognitive Development. Once upon a time, there was a man named Jean Piaget who changed the way we look at children's minds. Imagine a world where children are not just mini-adults, but explorers of their own unique mental landscapes. That's the world Piaget introduced us to. Born in Switzerland in 1896, this curious psychologist and biologist began observing children, including his own, to understand how they learn about the world. Piaget's journey into the minds of children led to a fascinating discovery: kids think differently than adults. It's not about how much they know, but how they know it. Piaget coined this the theory of cognitive development, a roadmap of how our thinking evolves from the moment we're born to our teenage years. It's like a treasure map, but instead of X marking the spot, there are 4 significant stages each child navigates through to discover the treasure of mature thought. Why does this matter to us? Because understanding these stages helps parents, educators, and anyone interested in child development to provide the right kind of guidance and support. It's about knowing that every puzzled look, every why question, and even those endless but how inquiries are not just cute moments but critical steps in a child's cognitive journey. Chapter 2. Sensorimotor stage, birth to 2 years. Welcome to the beginning of a marvelous journey in a child's life, the sensorimotor stage. Picture this: a newborn, eyes wide with wonder, touching, tasting, and smelling everything within reach. This stage, spanning from birth to about 2 years old, is where the magic starts. It's where babies learn that they can cause things to happen, a concept that might seem simple to us but is revolutionary for them. During this stage, babies are like little scientists, experimenting with their surroundings. They learn through trial and error, discovering basic concepts such as cause and effect. Remember the first time a baby realizes that shaking a rattle makes noise? That's a milestone in the sensorimotor stage. It's not just noise to them, it's the sound of their power to interact with the world. Object permanence is another key concept here. It's the understanding that objects continue to exist, even when they can't be seen, heard, or touched. Ever played peek-a-boo with a baby and witnessed their sheer delight when you reappear? That's because you've just blown their mind by reappearing from non-existence, according to their understanding at the time. This stage is all about sensory exploration and motor development. It's where movement and learning are intertwined, and every interaction is an opportunity to learn something new about the world. Through crawling, reaching, and grasping, babies are not just moving, they're developing their cognitive abilities and laying the foundation for all future learning. In the sensorimotor stage, the world is a playground of discovery, and every experience, no matter how small, is a step towards understanding the complexities of the world around them. It's a reminder for us to see the world through their eyes, full of wonder and endless possibilities. Chapter 3. Preoperational stage, 2 to 7 years. Welcome to the vibrant world of the preoperational stage, where imagination reigns supreme. Between the ages of 2 and 7, children embark on a journey through a phase where fairy tales come to life, and magic wands can transform couches into castles. This is the stage where language develops at an astonishing pace, and every word they learn is a key unlocking new doors of understanding. However, it's not all spells and enchantments. During this stage, children's thinking is dominated by what they can see, hear, and touch. They are yet to master the art of logical thinking about abstract concepts. It's like they're artists who perceive the world in vibrant colors and shapes, but they can't quite grasp the shadows that give depth to the picture. One of the hallmarks of the pre-operational stage is egocentrism. No, it's not about being selfish, it's about struggling to see the world from any perspective other than their own. Have you ever asked a child to describe something without realizing they assume you see exactly what they see, even if you're not looking? That's egocentrism in action. Another fascinating aspect is magical thinking. Ever wondered why kids believe in Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy? It's not just stories, to them, these are real possibilities. Their minds blend reality and fantasy in a way that creates a rich, albeit sometimes confusing, tapestry of thought. This stage also introduces the concept of symbolic thought. Children begin to use symbols, like words or drawings, to represent objects or ideas. It's a significant leap in cognitive development, allowing them to communicate complex ideas and feelings, even if their grasp on some concepts isn't fully matured. Navigating the pre-operational stage is like guiding a young explorer through a jungle of imagination and discovery. It's a time to encourage curiosity, foster language development, and gently introduce the boundaries between fantasy and reality, all while marveling at the creative ways children interpret the world around them. Chapter 4. Concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years. As children step into the concrete operational stage, the fog of magical thinking begins to lift, revealing a world governed by rules and logic. This stage, spanning from about 7 to 11 years old, is where the cognitive gears shift dramatically. Children start thinking more logically, but there's a catch: their reasoning is best applied to concrete, tangible objects and situations. Think of it as a mental construction site where the tools for logical thinking are being carefully assembled. Concepts such as conservation, the understanding that quantity remains the same despite changes in shape or appearance, begin to make sense. It's like the moment a child realizes that a tall, skinny glass of water holds the same amount as a short, wide one. It's a simple concept for adults, but for children, it's a light bulb moment. This stage also introduces the ability to classify and seriate. Kids can now organize objects by categories, like size or color, and understand sequences. Watching a child arrange their toys from smallest to largest isn't just a tidy-up time, it's a sign they're developing critical logical and organizational skills. Moreover, children in the concrete operational stage start to grasp the concept of reversibility, the understanding that actions can be reversed, and objects can return to their original state. It's a fundamental shift from the one-way street of early childhood thinking to a more complex network of possibilities. However, the catch is that their thinking is still tied to concrete, practical experiences. Abstract thinking is on the horizon but hasn't quite arrived yet. It's like they've mastered the rules of the road but are still learning to navigate the highways of hypotheticals and abstract ideas. This stage is a critical period for fostering problem-solving skills and encouraging logical thinking through hands-on activities and real-world examples. It's a time to challenge them with puzzles, experiments, and questions that require logical reasoning, all while providing the concrete tools they need to construct their understanding of the world. Chapter 5. Formal operational stage, 11 years and up. As we venture into the formal operational stage, we enter the realm of abstract thinking and sophisticated reasoning. This stage, beginning around 11 years of age and extending into adulthood, represents the pinnacle of cognitive development in Piaget's theory. Here, adolescents and adults are no longer tethered to the concrete and tangible. They soar into the realms of hypotheticals, theories, and possibilities. Imagine stepping into a world where, what if, becomes a guiding question, where solving complex problems with no immediate, visible solutions becomes possible. This is the stage where scientific reasoning blooms, where understanding the underlying principles of cause and effect, hypothesis testing, and the exploration of ideas beyond the here and now flourish. In the formal operational stage, young minds begin to think about the future, ponder ethical dilemmas, and contemplate existential questions. They develop the ability to think about abstract concepts like justice, freedom, and love, not just as ideas, but as complex systems that can be analyzed and understood. It's as if the cognitive doors to a vast universe of ideas have been flung open, inviting endless exploration. This stage also introduces the ability to systematically solve problems through logical deduction, rather than trial and error. Adolescents learn to formulate hypotheses and think critically about the outcomes of their actions, leading to more deliberate and thoughtful decision-making. They're not just reacting to the world, they're predicting and shaping it. However, with great power comes great responsibility. The onset of formal operational thought also ushers in the challenges of idealism and the struggle with the complexities of adult concepts. Adolescents may grapple with frustration when reality falls short of their ideals. It's a time of growth, but also of turbulence, as they learn to balance their newfound cognitive abilities with the emotional and social challenges of adolescence. Navigating the formal operational stage is about harnessing this cognitive potential while providing guidance, support, and real-world applications to help young adults understand and navigate the complex world around them. Chapter 6. Key Concepts in Piaget's Theory. To truly appreciate the stages of cognitive development, it's essential to grasp a few key concepts that Piaget introduced. These concepts are the building blocks of his theory, illuminating how children progress through the stages and adapt to their ever-expanding understanding of the world. First on the list is schema, a term Piaget used to describe the mental models or frameworks that help us organize and interpret information. Think of schemas as mental filing cabinets, where every new piece of information is stored in its proper place. As children encounter new experiences, their schemas evolve, becoming more complex and nuanced. Next, we have assimilation and accommodation, two processes that work hand in hand to adjust our schemas as we learn. Assimilation is about integrating new information into our existing schemas, like adding new files to those mental filing cabinets. On the other hand, accommodation involves altering our schemas when the new information doesn't fit, essentially creating new drawers or reshaping the existing ones. Lastly, the concept of equilibration is crucial. It's the balance between assimilation and accommodation, a state of cognitive harmony where our schemas are just right for the information we're processing. Equilibration is what drives the transition from one stage of cognitive development to the next, pushing us to adapt and grow as we encounter new challenges and contradictions in our understanding of the world. Understanding these key concepts is like having a map to navigate the intricate journey of cognitive development. They shed light on the invisible processes that shape our thinking from infancy through adulthood, highlighting the dynamic and ever-evolving nature of human cognition. Chapter 7. Piaget's Influence on Education. The ripple effects of Piaget's theory of cognitive development on education are profound and far-reaching. By understanding that children progress through specific stages of cognitive development, educators and parents can create more effective teaching methods that cater to the child's current stage of understanding. One of Piaget's most significant contributions to education is the concept of learning through discovery. Instead of passive reception of information, Piaget advocated for active learning, where children are encouraged to explore, question, and discover principles for themselves. This approach fosters deeper understanding and retention of knowledge. Piaget's theory also highlights the importance of readiness in learning. This means recognizing that children can only understand certain concepts and skills when they have reached the appropriate stage of cognitive development. Educators are thus guided to introduce concepts when children are cognitively prepared, ensuring more effective learning outcomes. Furthermore, Piaget's work has led to the development of constructivist classrooms, where learning is student-centered, and knowledge is constructed through interaction with the environment and others. This approach values the process of learning as much as the outcome, encouraging critical thinking, problem-solving, and the ability to apply knowledge in various contexts. By integrating Piaget's insights into educational practices, we can create environments that not only respect children's developmental stages but also challenge and support their cognitive growth in meaningful ways.